Facebook wasn't the first thing I built. I also built chat systems and games, study tools and music players, and I'm not alone.
Mark Zuckerberg once dropped this gem. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. Growth, innovation, and success often sprout from the seeds of risk-taking. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, but you have to flip the script. Instead of fearing risk, fear the stagnation that comes from playing it safe. Step out of your comfort zones and enter the realm of possibility.
A change in the world that seems so clear that you are sure someone else is going to do it. But they're not. You will. But it's not enough to have that purpose yourself. You also have to create a sense of purpose for others. And I found that out the hard way. You see, my hope was never to build a company. I wanted to have an impact. And as all these people started joining us, I just assumed that that's what they wanted to do too. So I never took the time to explain what it was that I hoped we'd build. A couple of years in, some big companies wanted to buy us. I didn't want to sell. I wanted to see if we could connect more people. And we were building the first version of Newsfeed at the time, and I thought, if we could just launch this, it could change how we all learn about the world. Nearly everyone else wanted to sell. Without a sense of higher purpose, this was their startup dream come true, and it tore our company apart. After one particularly tense argument, one of my close advisors told me if I didn't agree to sell the company right now, I would regret that decision for the rest of my life. Relationships were so frayed that within a year or so, every single person on our management team was gone. That was my hardest time leading Facebook. I believed in what we were doing, but I felt alone. And worse, it was my fault. I wondered if I was just wrong, an imposter, a 22-year-old kid who had no idea how things actually worked.
Move fast and break things. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough. Now this might sound a bit wild, but it's all about the pace of progress. To achieve what you want badly, you have to maintain momentum. Sometimes progress can be messy, and that's okay. It's a reminder that perfection is the enemy of progress. The road to success is paved with learning experiences, and a few broken pieces along the way are just part of the journey. So don't let the fear of imperfection slow you down. Instead, let it fuel your momentum.
Our generation is going to have to deal with tens of millions of jobs replaced by automation like self-driving cars and trucks. But we have the potential to do so much more than that. Every generation has its defining works. More than 300,000 people worked to put that man on the moon, including that janitor. Millions of volunteers immunized children around the world against polio, and millions of more people built the Hoover Dam and other great projects. And now it's our generation's turn to do great things. Now I know, maybe you're thinking, I don't know how to build a dam. I don't know how to get 1 million people involved in anything. Well, let me tell you a secret. No one does when they begin. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. If I had to know everything about connecting people before I got started, I never would have built Facebook. Movies and pop culture just get this all wrong. The idea of a single eureka moment is a dangerous lie. It makes us feel inadequate because we feel like we haven't had ours yet. And it prevents people with seeds of good ideas from ever getting started in the first place.
The question I ask myself like almost every day is, am I doing the most important thing I could be doing? This one hits close to home, doesn't it? It's a call to introspection, a reminder to stay focused on what truly matters. In a world full of distractions, this question acts as a compass for our actions. It encourages us to cut through the noise and concentrate on the tasks that align with our goals. So, take a moment today to ask yourself this question and recalibrate your focus.
It's really good to be idealistic. But be prepared to be misunderstood. Anyone working on a big vision is going to get called crazy, even if you end up right. Anyone taking on a complex problem is going to get blamed for not fully understanding it, even though it's impossible to know everything up front. Anyone taking initiative will always get criticized for moving too fast, because there's always someone who wants to slow you down. In our society, we often don't take on big things because we're so afraid of making mistakes that we ignore all the things wrong today if we do nothing. The reality is, anything we do today is going to have some issues in the future. But that can't stop us from getting started. So what are we waiting for? It is time for our generation-defining great works.
People don't care about what you say, they care about what you build. It's a blunt truth. In a world inundated with words, actions stand out. You have to understand the importance of tangible results. Whether it's a groundbreaking project, a successful business, or personal development, it's the deeds that speak volumes. So let's shift our focus from merely talking about our dreams to actively building them. The world doesn't remember the eloquent promises. It remembers the bridges we build and the impact we create.
Facebook wasn't the first thing I built. I also built chat systems and games, study tools and music players, and I'm not alone. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times before she finally wrote and published Harry Potter. Even Beyoncé had to make hundreds of songs to get Halo. The greatest successes come from having the freedom to fail. Now, today, we have a level of wealth inequality that hurts everyone. When you don't have the freedom to take your idea and turn it into a historic enterprise, we all lose. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and I don't know a single person who gave up on starting a business because they were worried they might not make enough money. But I know too many people who haven't had the chance to pursue their dreams because they didn't have a cushion to fall back on if they failed. We all know you don't get successful just by having a good idea or working hard. You get successful by being lucky too. If I had to support my family growing up instead of having the time to learn how to code, if I didn't know that I was going to be fine if Facebook didn't work out, then I wouldn't be standing up here today. And if we're honest, we all know how much luck we've had to get to this point in our lives. Every generation expands its definition of equality. Previous generations fought for the vote and civil rights. They had the New Deal and Great Society. And now it's time for our generation to define a new social contract.
Our goal is not to build a platform, it's to cross all of them. This is a visionary statement. Challenge yourself to think beyond limitations. It's not about confining ourselves to a single path, but rather transcending boundaries. In a rapidly evolving digital landscape, being versatile and adaptable is key. This quote encourages us to explore diverse avenues, to be where our audience is, and to innovate across various platforms. Break free from the constraints and explore the vast possibilities that lie beyond the expected. Remember, it's not just about taking risks, it's about embracing them, moving with purpose, staying focused on what truly matters, building instead of just talking, and transcending the expected. So, go out there and make your mark on the world. Until next time, stay motivated.
One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center, and he saw a janitor holding a broom, and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for.